Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is episode number 756, which means that this project, Blunt Force Healing, consisting of two main elements, blog and podcast, goes on for 756 days straight, consecutive days without hiccup or without any day off. Basically, every single day I post or publish a blog post, a write up, and also the same day I always publish podcast episode like this one. I'm not sure if you're listening that in audio on Spotify or Apple or any other podcast platform, or maybe you're watching it on YouTube or Spotify video. Regardless, it is the same episode across all those platforms except for visuals versus audio. And as I said, every single day I journal about the previous day, currently about previous day, because there were times where I was updating you about the current days. Now I switched to previous days and I'm testing currently how it works, because basically if I want to say something about the whole day and journal about it, logically speaking, it needs to pass. So I can either blog about it and podcast about it only closer to midnight or the next day. That's my train of thought. So apologies if you disagree with that method, but I decided to test it out and doing it right now. So because it's an episode 756, it means that I will be talking about Saturday, 12th of October. And this is the instance in which I am actually recording that at the end of the day. Well, actually, I'm recording it past midnight, so technically I'm recording that properly the next day. Saturday was an interesting day because it's one of those weekend days where we are mostly focused on our small business, or I'd say the enterprise that we started together as a family. It was my wife's idea, and the practical side of things, ordering and making sure that everything works fine, was more on my side. Julian, our son, is also participating in many day-to-day duties, so we are proud to own it. It's a very young business because we started that only in June and really started operating on a daily basis from 1st of July. The holidays period was very fruitful for us, revenue-wise. We turned over enough to cover pretty much almost a half of the investment, which is great return. But obviously that was summertime and a lot of people went through Rosnaula, which is the location, the beach where we operate, and our small business is based on sauna on the trailer. So it's a mobile sauna. We allow people to book half an hour or full hour sessions. We extended that to 15-minute sessions, like a try and buy or whatever, just to see, for newcomers to see if they like sauna. But basically, if you book any of those sessions, like half an hour or full hour, it's just a slot in time, so you don't need to stay for 30 minutes or 60 minutes in the sauna. Within that 30 minutes or 60 minutes, you can stay in the sauna and go out to the ocean and take a dip, or just step outside, cool down, and come back to the sauna whenever you want. So it's basically like a slot in time in which you can use sauna to your preference. And it is getting very quiet at the moment. We are probably in our quietest week, although we thought that 2 weeks ago was the worst. This week seems to be even worse. Previous week was very nice. So they are still very unstable. Our audience that we grew organically on Instagram mostly is quite diverse. There's a lot of people that are not from around. They are from Northern Ireland and quite distant places. They come to holiday homes or caravan homes and they visit Rosnella less and less in winter time. So we depend more on local audience that we still have a very small amount of people of. So it's now only prudent to focus on growing this local audience around Donegal Town, Ballyshannon, and those areas that we have nearby to get enough influx of those people to ensure the sustainable business. And while it's about money, obviously, because you don't start a business to not make money or to not make any change. But we also want to make sure that we maintain the level of experience, which seems to have gained us great reviews, and general word of mouth is only positive so far, and we are gaining a lot of attention from people, families, and friends. So it is growing slow but steady and with a proper audience. But obviously, we need to grow it more to make sure that those people that do not come to the sauna in winter time might be replaced or complemented by people that are local, and vice versa whenever the times change. So Friday was very quiet. I already spoke about it in the last episode. And Saturday started with the morning deploy. We had no bookings in the morning, no pre-booked spaces, so we came on empty. We stayed at the ramp because the tide was coming in, and it's time of high tides, fairly high tides that are pretty much swallowing the beach. So we know that we can't drive onto the beach unless it's a low tide or outgoing tide. So we have enough time to stay and operate. So we stayed at the ramp. It was very windy. We had even a yellow warning, but we had a group of people that popped in the morning and enjoyed the sauna. But they were the only ones. It was very empty and very quiet. So we wrapped up, came back home, and I did a couple of tasks that we needed to do. Prepped the sauna a little bit and made sure that we have what is needed for the dinner. So Elizabeth stayed at home. She didn't feel well, and a bit earlier than usual, Julian and myself, we deployed the sauna for the evening. And the evening was much better. We had some pre-booked spaces, and then some others came along the way up to the very end, where we operated in complete dark with just a couple of lights around that we provided from a car and whatever. So because the beach is completely like a pitch black, and that entrance to the beach is not lit up, so only the half moon that was very bright and the lights that we have provided some ambience there. But it was a lovely evening, a bit of an uplifting evening, because we got definitely more revenue for that Saturday. Nowhere near the usual Saturdays that we had, but definitely better than the last couple of days. and there is a high hope for Sunday to be decent as well, but we need to push a little bit to make sure to stay longer on the beach and make sure that we give ourselves a chance for people to have a chance to come to us and leave their hard-earned money while we provide the top level service and relaxation and experience so they enjoy the sauna at the beach. So fingers crossed for tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure how this week will end up, but we still have a bit of revenue to get to the point of not being the bottom 3 or 4 weeks of all time. I still have a lot of marketing to do. I need to reach out to the football clubs, to hotels, Airbnbs, and other amenities that can use our sauna as a complementary means. We are thinking about changing the days of operation, so shrinking the week and opening this way days that we don't operate with for general public and replace them with the contracts with some amenities like football clubs, sports clubs in general, and maybe other more corporate focused entities. So that would definitely help us survive the winter time. Not that we need to survive, but it would be definitely easier and better and more comfortable. And at the same time, we could expand the awareness and health benefits across the area, because sauna is something amazing, and if it's combined with the cold water dip, it's one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, tools that we have to balance and improve our health, longevity, and avoid many illnesses and lower the risk of any diseases. There is no drugs or therapies even close in terms of benefits to sauna, and well, not only sauna but the heat exposure and cold exposure. Scientifically speaking, it is confirmed in many research, and I mean the randomized control trials and meta-analysis, so multi-research, not just a single angle or singular approaches. So we know that very well at the moment, and the awareness is growing, and that's the main thing. So it's great to see that. I'm already 13 minutes in, so fingers crossed. Thank you very much for being here. I can't say enough how much I appreciate you guys being here and either reading the blog or watching the podcast or doing both, because while it's my accountability tool and I do it regardless if I have audience or not, the audience is growing in some areas slowly, in others a bit more rapidly, but it's not a content that is going to be viral or sexy or entertaining. It's a very specific content. It's journaling about my boring life, so not everyone wants to listen about it or read about it. So that's definitely even more interesting, and I appreciate it more if you're part of my journey, whether you're doing the blog reading or consuming the podcast or both. So once again, thank you very much for that. Have a great rest of the day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are on the globe, because I know that you come from different places and you watch it or listen from different areas of the globe. Stay tuned and see you again in the next episode, which is coming tomorrow.